Welcome to Master Your Money Mindset 2.0. I am your host, Deborah Fryer, and I am super excited to welcome today's brilliant entrepreneurial goddess, Cyndi Padilla. So I'll tell you about her official bio, and then I'll tell you unofficially because I'm so excited to brag about her. Her official title is that she's a master team builder and a motivator. She used to have a career in retail. She went to the total top of that career in retail. It was corporate. She was managing teams, and then she quit that job and started from scratch. So this is the unofficial thing that I want to share with you. When I met Cyndi, I was at the very beginning of building my business, and I didn't know how I was going to break six figures. I didn't know how I was going to do any of this stuff. I was terrified of video. I was terrified to be seen. I was terrified of my authority. I was just terrified of everything involved in building a business. And I met Cyndi, and she shared that in her first year, she went from 0 to 350,000, right? It was 350 or 250?
230, yeah.
230?
330.
Okay, so listen to that. 0 to 330K in 1 year. So I heard that and I was like, wow, here's a real live person in front of me who's my friend, who I can rub shoulders with, and I can ask her questions, and she did it. If she can do it, like, it must be possible. And I know there are lots of entrepreneurs that do this. So then the next year, Cyndi and I hung out together for a whole year in a coaching program together, and she went from 330 to 1.2 million. 1.1 million. Oh, excuse me. 1.1, still freaking phenomenal, right? So that's why I'm so super, super jazzed to bring Cyndi to you, because she is master at sales. She is master at mindset. She is totally committed to team building, to creating cultures of commitment, getting results, being impeccable with her service, being impeccable with her word, being impeccable with her devotion and her fitness and her painting and her hiking. I mean, she's just really, really an incredible example of how do you be successful and balanced and equally plugged into spirit and success, right? There's no sacrifice here. It's all of it. And she's a mom, and she has kids, and about to be grandmother. Did the grandkid happen yet?
No, September.
Super exciting. So yeah, all of that. And that's why I'm really, really thrilled to share Cyndi with you. Her formal training is she has a bachelor's degree in business management. She has a master's in organizational leadership, and she has built, with her husband, Jim, an amazing business called Gain the Edge. And she's now building her own thing. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Wow, what a beautiful introduction.
All true. All true. I see you. It's people like you that we entrepreneurs love to be in the field of. You know, there's this quote by Jim Rohn that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And if you want to hang out with people who are high achieving and successful and spiritual, then hang out with people who are high achieving and successful and spiritual. Don't waste your time with complainers and procrastinators and people who are just going to, harsh on your vibe. Cyndi is one of those people who's just really got it going on. And not that there's anything wrong with procrastinating and blaming, but it outlives its usefulness. It's only useful until it isn't. So, okay, let's talk about your awesomeness. So you had this, you had a career in corporate. You were working for a really big name company. Do you mind telling us more about that, and why'd you leave?
Yeah.
What made you quit a super awesome position?
Yeah, I had 20 plus years working in corporate, so working for Target and Gap, running stores, opening stores, running teams of up to 300 people, and everybody knows the infamous Black Fridays. I've got about 20 some odd Black Fridays under my belt. So there just came a time in 2013, I was wrapping up my master's degree, and I knew my time in that space was coming to an end.
How'd you know?
I just started to feel it. It just wasn't rewarding. I was dreading going to work. I wasn't looking forward to the future. And I actually went on a hiking trip the first part of November for one of my daughter's birthdays, and I was in Yosemite, and I came home and I was like, I'm done.
Wow, that was brave. So you were at the very top. You were managing a lot of people. You'd been there for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's all I knew.
6-figure income to 0 overnight. Bam. Okay, then what?
Oh,
Scary.
it was scary, but it was so interesting too, is nobody thought I was crazy when I was doing this. I kept waiting for someone to go, "You're crazy." And everybody was just like, you go, girl. And my husband's been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years, and I watched him. And so the first few weeks, honestly, or a month or so, this not working gig was really a lot of fun. I was like, who gets to do this? This is awesome. And then we wanted some money. I was like, okay, we can use some revenue now. So I got introduced to the coaching world. I mean, I was literally just barely introduced to this whole world even being in existence. So I just started some accountability coaching, and then Jim and I built our own coaching business, and then we transitioned into Gain the Edge done for you sales.
So you're making it sound really easy peasy lemon squeezy, but I'm sure it wasn't. So you quit your corporate thing. You had 3 weeks of hiking and painting and working out and like totally
Plan.
loving your life. And then you were like, okay, I need to get some money. And then you just very briefly said, so I just started doing some coaching. Like, how did that happen that you immediately had clients?
Well, I first got started in coaching with my husband. He was a master sales trainer for another coach. So I came on board and they brought me in as a coach, as an accountability coach. And we did that for a few months, and it came to an impasse where I believe we were out of alignment, out of integrity with that coach and the way things were running. So I told my husband, like, we could do this on our own. We're really smart. We could figure this out. So we actually went and got some mentorship because of where I was in life and the success I had achieved. I didn't want to be one of those stories where it took me 5 years to be successful. I mean, I was 48 when I left. I didn't have 5 years, and I'm not the most patient person on the planet anyways. So
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
we went and got some mentors, and we followed their system, and we started our own coaching practice. And within even 90 days there, we were at $10,000 a month.
Awesome.
And that's
That's,
when I was like, hey, this stuff works. We can figure this out big time.
oh my gosh. So you just dropped some super, super valuable pearls, and I'm going to pick them up just in case
Okay.
people didn't get it. So one of the things that I heard you say was that you had some urgency. That is so important to starting your business. Right? A lot of people think, well, I will do it when I have the money. And it's actually the opposite way around. It's when you don't have the money and you're really like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. My life depends on this. My mortgage depends on this. My health
Mm-hmm.
insurance depends on this. You know, the dinner, the food on the table for my kids depends on this. You are going to figure it out. So
Yeah.
that's a really important thing that you had was urgency. The second thing was you invested in a mentor. So important. None of us can figure this out on our own. And accountability, right? Even accountability coaches need accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes,
And the
awesome.
community, and my background being with Target for so many years, I valued systems and structures, and I knew I still needed that in my life, even in a business. And as this little baby entrepreneur, I'm like, I want a business and I want a company and I want it to be here as long as Target's been around. And so I knew in the back of my head what it was going to take to get there. And I knew that I didn't know how to do that for myself.
So you had a really, really rock solid mindset to begin with. Because the other thing I heard you say was most people it takes 5 years, and you were like, nope, I'm going to do it faster. I'm doing it my way. Within 90 days, you were making 10,000 a month. Will you reveal some of the systems and strategies that you know work? How'd you make 10K in 3 months as a brand new entrepreneur? I think everybody who's watching this would love to know.
This is awesome, Deborah, because it just adds to the conversation you and I had before we started this interview. Love it. It was really about just deciding who we were going to serve and where our brilliances were and with the coaching that we wanted to do with people. And we literally just started networking, sharing with people what we do. And we did. We sold our coaching program before we had created it. We had it
Mm-hmm.
mapped out. We knew what the promise of the program was going to be. We knew what the modules were going to be, but we didn't spend any time, energy, or money on marketing, on a funnel, on any of that. We did local networking here in Sacramento and got clients.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So one of the things you just said is Such a great tip. A lot of entrepreneurs, seasoned and beginning entrepreneurs, think that it has to be complete before they start
Mm-hmm.
charging for it. It's this trap that starts with P. It's called perfectionism. And it is, going to slow you way down. You're going to leave a whole bunch of clients like panting after you. They're showing up. They want to work with you. They want more of you. And if it's not created yet, well, create it. You are a creative machine. All you're doing is creating all day long. Your cells are creating themselves. Your mind is creating thoughts. Just
Mm-hmm.
create stuff. So that's really awesome what you did. You sold it before it was created. And the brilliant
Yes.
thing about that is that all of a sudden now you have cash flow.
Yes.
So smart.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
what was the first program that you created?
It was, I don't even remember the title of it, but it was really just helping people build their businesses. It was basically teaching someone what we were doing ourselves. We were just that one step ahead.
Mm-hmm. That's another key point, right? If you're just one step ahead of your people, you're
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Wow, so impressive. So this was your transition. Were there things that you thought would work from corporate and they didn't? Or were there things that you took from corporate that you were like, oh my gosh, I actually know how to do this already? Like, how was that to go from somebody else being your boss to you being your own boss?
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest transition was I did have to take off my corporate speak and my corporate persona and that facade, because that doesn't work in the entrepreneurial world. People came to Target because the big bullseye's on the building, but people were not going to come to be with Jim and Cyndi and give us $10,000 unless they really knew us, they trusted us, we had some relationship, and so that was a learning curve for me to put those into place.
Mm-hmm. What was it like for you to make that much money and have that much success and that much authority so fast? Was that
Mm.
hard?
It happened so quickly, and I believe I was divinely built for it, having all that experience in corporate. What I noticed, and I'm grateful for quickly, was when the money and the clients were coming so quickly, but our support systems were not quite where they needed to be.
Say more about
And I
that.
Yeah, we hit, I believe it was the summer of 2015. We were just on a roll, just client, client, client. It was wonderful. But by the end of the summer, we started, balls started dropping. Maybe, um, you know, a not so pleasant customer or client interaction. We were just growing too fast. I just pictured us as this rocket ship,
Hmm.
but it was just unstable. And I told my husband, we don't bring some stability into this, we're not going to be here in 90 days.
So how did you bring in stability?
Mm. We literally shut down our business for 40 days.
Hmm. How
Yeah.
biblical.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yes. Okay. So you
We
shut down your
did.
business for 40 days. What'd you do in
Wrote
that
to all of
40
our
days?
clients, and the clients that we had active campaigns for, we told them obviously we would continue to serve them at our highest, but we had a lot of pending contracts. I think at the time we had 2 people that had just said yes, and we had 3 other contracts pending, and we just tabled them. And
Wow.
and we got a business consultant to come in and just, you tell me what you see. I'm in the weeds. I can't even see it. I just know it's starting to shake. And that scared me. And I know the importance of systems and structures and team. And we were kind of like the bad news bears in a Google Doc.
Hmm.
Uh,
Wow, that's so interesting. So you shut down for 40 days. You had a business consultant, and what were the ways that you stabilized your business? Did you hire more team? Did you change something about your onboarding process? Was it
um,
inner work that you did?
Yeah, it was both, all of it. The first thing we did was we got an operations manager. That was the first hire. And Dory, going on 3 years, she's still with us. And my business consultant's still with me 3 years later as well. So that was the crux of all of it, was that cornerstone was having
Hmm.
team that believed in your mission. And I think back to what they stepped into, and what we got stabilized and literally cleaned up, and then it's fallen apart since then, and we've picked it back up, and I'm just so humbled when I think about quality of leaders and team that are here and they've been with us through those crazy years. It's very stable now, but we've gone through a lot of team and a lot of different leaders and systems, and to have some key leadership that just never stops believing in you is amazing. Amazing.
It's such a great metaphor for how we be solopreneurs. You were talking about, how you built your business, and you grew really fast, and then you were super unstable. And I mean, this is actually what happens in every single one of our lives. We're born, we grow really fast, and then like we try to walk and we fall down and we crash into things and we get hurt and we, scrape our knee and we cry, and it's just like, right? And it's like, it's hard to learn to, but did anybody give up? No. Right? But a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of would-be wannabe entrepreneurs, they quit before they get there. And it's such a testament to your dedication that, you went through this shaky period. We all go through that period of, it's really hard. I'm going to fall down, and then I get up and I fall down and I get up and I fall down. So that was part of it. And then the next part was, okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop right now.
To slow down, to speed up.
Yes, it's such an important part of being an entrepreneur is you're not supposed to be productive 24/7. You're supposed to take breaks. So that's really important, like just for our system. And then the third thing you said was you brought in a team of people who support you. And that's so important because none of us can do this alone. We're not meant to, right? None of our systems are meant to do it alone. Brain doesn't do the work of the heart doesn't do the work of the liver, right? We're not meant to be in isolation. We're meant to be in community. So that's super valuable. So then you built it up again, and then you got to 1.1 million, but then you were like, okay, no, I'm going to do my own thing again. So now you're reinventing yourself again, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that next transition. What inspired that move?
What inspired it was coming out of last year. It was a challenging year. About 6 months into the year, it became challenging from just what was going on in the coaching industry and our core clients. And complete transparency, to hit our bottom line. And when there's money stress, there's just kind of stress everywhere. And we just kept looking at our systems and our team, and I was looking at myself as a leader, and it really just came out of last year and really, Cyndi Padilla, what do you really want to do? Where do you really want to spend your time, and how do you really want to serve? And while I love my business, Gain the Edge, and I'm so proud of everything, and I love my team, I'm going to do that part of it. So I've really repositioned my role in the company, and I work in that company 2 days a week. And it still does $1 million a year. And I work there Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So great.
Because I have team and I have systems. And then I want to create my own body of work. I want to support high achieving women entrepreneurs who want to also build a company, build a business. I want to help them build teams and systems, and build a company that they love working in, and they still have a life.
So this is such an interesting interview because you're both an example of an extremely successful 7-figure entrepreneur, and also you have created this next version of you where you're a brand new entrepreneur again. So you get to, like you're starting back at zero, right? And putting together a whole new business. What in your mindset, what in your daily habits is giving you this confidence, this ability to keep going when you have no idea? I mean, you've done it before, so you could do it again, but you're back at the starting block again.
Yeah.
What in you is giving you this deep strength to do this? This is the third time you're telling us about.
It is, and it's my faith, because I believe this was also a message from God that it's time for you to move on. I believe that some of the frustrations, maybe some of the pain last year was it was a wake-up call. It was an indication, like God doesn't want me to live through that, that yes, I can be very influential and impactful in that business in a different way. And it's time to move in a different direction and serve in a different way. Um, yeah, so I have a really strong morning practice that grounds me every day in the ability to hear from Spirit, hear from God as to what I should do today, let alone what I should do next year or
Mm-hmm.
next week.
Mm-hmm. So will
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit more specifically, what do you do specifically, if you're willing to share,
Mhm.
every morning?
Well, I'm an early bird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's proven highly successful people start their day early, that they do put that time aside for a really personal morning routine. And for me, it's very personal. And, I wake up and I have a special place in my home that's comfortable and cozy and nurturing to me. And I just have a process, I literally spend time in silence and just ask for some direction. I allow the spaciousness and the time to actually hear and listen, because it'd be really easy for me to always think I know the best direction and that I know what's next, and for me to get into a pushing and striving mode, because that's my go-to mode.
Mm.
So this really supports me to stay very grounded and, to your point, not get I don't get taken out. Like, a lot happens and it's not all perfect, but I don't get taken out and I don't go into spirals.
Mm-hmm. Will you say more about what specific rituals you do?
Mm.
Because I know you have a lot of power tools.
I do. I do. Again, it starts really simply with my quiet time, and then I do reading. And, I choose whether I'm going to read out of the Bible that morning. And it's spirit led. Sometimes it's just a spiritual book, sometimes it's a business book. I really listen to where I'm being led to spend my time and fill my mind with what. I journal. And again, I ask questions and then I listen. And I usually get an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was
I just
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I write out prayers, I write out my requests. Sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm crying because I'm so scared or sad or mad, and sometimes I'm crying because I'm just so grateful. Like, it's just allowing the morning to progress and to happen.
Was it hard for you because there's a part of you that obviously is very analytical, likes to figure things out, really good at strategy, really good at systems. Was it hard for you to develop the ease to allow messages to come in? How long did it take for you to have facility with waiting for the
It,
answers?
yeah, it probably took a few months for me, like, to your point, for me to get out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even this morning, I was sitting there quietly and thoughts are poking in and what I'm going to do later and this interview. And I was like, okay, that'll be for later. Okay,
Mm.
we'll get to that. And for me, it's having an anchor. I have a special little stone that I hold on to, and I can
Mm.
just pull back into that space, like, just
Mm-hmm.
focus. Um,
Do you see yourself actually pulling a thought out?
mhm.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. What are some of your other favorite brain hacks to keep your mindset really focused on what you want to focus on?
Mm. A lot of times a candle is really helpful for me, again, for just a focus so that I don't wander. For me, it's important because I'm a very disciplined person. So getting up in the morning is something I can do. I always incorporate fitness and, really healthy eating and fueling my body. And for me, I think that shift, going from that real masculine model that I learned in corporate, is also seeing this as, this is my work. This is part of my day. This is as big of a part of my business day as the sales call I have scheduled at noon.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever miss a day of your morning routine?
Rarely.
What happens when you miss it?
It's so interesting. I feel it. I'm off.
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling with some friends a few weeks ago, and I stayed at one end of the house because I'm the early bird and everybody knows I have my rituals. And I was out running on the red rocks in Sedona, and I'm just like soaking it and I'm just praying and I'm planning my day. And I knew my friends were just at home in bed. And I just thought, it's so odd. I don't, and then I came home and, they're on the computer and they're doing all their stuff. And I just thought, I just can't do that.
Mm.
I cannot just wake up and start work.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is so ingrained in how I am and how I be. It's just so odd. I just could not do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you've discovered really, really works amazingly well for you.
Yeah.
And you have a very cool free gift for people. So people who are interested in diving more into Cyndi's morning routine, she's actually written a beautiful book that is available to you. It's called Sacred Mornings, Key to Extraordinary Results. Will you tell us, just tease us a little bit with what's in there?
Yeah, it's got a little bit more detail about my story. Again, some of the history of my pushing and striving and the kind of life I lived in corporate and what I've been able to achieve by really thinking and really understanding. It's more about my be than my doing in my life and in my business. And it's got 7 sacred steps that I take every morning before I start my day, and then a final little, look at my day before I jump in. And I have days that they're pretty filled with they're pretty ease filled.
Hmm.
Yeah. Again, they're not perfect, but like I said earlier, I don't get taken out into spirals, and I don't get stuck long. I can catch it really quickly because I have these practices and these systems where I can catch where I can start to feel off, and I know what to do to pull back in.
So what do you do if it's the middle of the day? Let's say you're in a meeting and it's at 4 p.m. and you start to notice that you're feeling pulled off of your center. What's one or two strategies that you use to just come right back to that core
Mm-hmm.
solidity in you?
Yeah. 2 things. One, I want to say I'm really specific about how my day's organized. So I know that I'm at my best in the morning. So I manage my energy versus my time. So like money calls, sales calls, a lot of things happen before noon. So I get up so early.
Hmm.
And then for afternoon calls, if I catch myself out, it's literally as easy as movement. I love sitting outside with my dog in the sunshine, a big glass of water with some lemon juice. I have things on my desk that'll
Mm-hmm.
remind me
Mm-hmm. Like I have
of,
lemon and water.
yeah,
The
things on
salt
my
lamp.
desk that will remind me of, okay, remember what your intention was, because we do have very filled days and there's plenty of distractions.
Mm. That's a great reminder to put something on your desk that
Mm-hmm.
reminds you of your big why. And you
Yeah.
can see she's holding something that looks kind of like a cross, right?
Yeah, a little bit of
That
cross
reminds her of her
today.
faith. Such a great reminder, right? It's a simple thing. You can look at it, but that immediately it like flips you right back
Yes.
into the core view. Well, this is awesome. You've given us so many valuable tools and strategies that we can all use to just
Mm,
stay connected to our source and connected to our big
yes.
why. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to watch your success this year.
Well, I'm watching you too.
Thank you.